Yesterday morning, Sunday, October 28th, we as a congregation, like many other synagogues across this country and around the world, gathered in a vigil to respond to the horrific events that occurred at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh on Shabbat morning. We would have never imagined that we would ever have to gather together in such a way to respond to such an event, because we have taken for granted the liberty and freedom that we as Jews have been able to experience here in America, unique in the annals of Jewish history. And so what I spoke about and highlighted in my talk yesterday during our vigil was that the Torah reading that we read this past Shabbat, Vayera, actually contained two models that have served throughout history as inspiration for how to respond to such violent acts of anti-Semitism. The most traditional act, because Jews have been so outnumbered in their history, was the model of Isaac on the altar, bound there, ready to be sacrificed by his father, only at the last second to be saved by the angel and by God. That model of Isaac on the altar was the model of that rabbis said to their people as comfort and strength as they were about to be slaughtered by the Crusaders or by the Cossacks or by the Nazis, that perhaps at the last second God would intervene and provide a miracle. But if not, we should be ready to be martyrs in the sanctification of God's name. However, we in America have not had to be martyrs at all, thank God. We instead have taken the other model of response to hatred around us, and that is the model of Abraham arguing with God. Hashofet kol haaretz lo ya'aseh mishpat, the judge of all the earth shouldn't act justly. That, in other words, if Abraham could argue with God about social justice and about equality and about liberty and about basic moral and ethical values, how much more so should we be standing up for that and living that in our lives. And so just as we have a sign on our front lawn of our congregation that says hate has no home here, we need to carry that message forward and act that way in our lives and promote that message to others. And perhaps one synagogue at a time, one family at a time, one community at a time, we can finally express that message of love and overcome this atmosphere of hatred that is around us. Shabbat Shalom.